I'm Chris O'Hara, back for another guitar tutorial, and today we're going to be talking about picks. It's one of the most important parts of playing the guitar, and there's a lot of different picks out there, and so we're going to cover all those different types, as many as we can in this tutorial. So first off, let's talk about some of the three main elements of what makes picks different. One of them is just the size of the pick. Some are very small. Let me show you one here. I got a couple of examples here. Woo! One's big, one's small. A lot of different sizes. The other thing is the material, okay? Some of these, like these real expensive Red Bear picks, they're made out of this kind of synthetic animal protein, I think I read on the site. Others are just kind of more of a plastic. Some are acrylic. Some are made out of wood. I got one here that's, yeah, it's made out of wood. So the material, and that can affect the sound that you're getting. The other thing is just the shape of the pick, not just the size of it, but the actual shape of it. Some are more rounded at the tip than others. Some are very pointed. Here's a small pointed one right here. Looks like that versus something that's kind of big. And now here's the thickness of this one. This one's very thick, where this one is very thin. I don't know if you can see the difference between those two. Like that. So again, size, the material, and the shape of it makes a big difference in that, in the sound, and also the playability of the instrument. So what I would recommend, if you're just starting out, I would get, I always tell my students to get the kind of the standard here, Fender Medium. It looks like this. It's a good starting point, and since picks are relatively cheap, I would grab a couple of, I don't know, a small, like eight of the thins, 8 of the mediums, and 8 of the heavies. And that basically what they mean is the thins is it's the thickness of it. Okay, same shape, just different thickness of it. And the thicker you go, the more it's going to perform. It's kind of like a sports car. You can handle corners better. But the thinner the pick, it's a little bit. Since it's more flexible, it's going to make things like strumming chords like that much easier, okay? But if you want to start to kind of play something like that, a thinner pick doesn't quite react and respond quite the way a thick pick does. So keep that in mind. And like I said, you can get they're relatively inexpensive, and you can experiment and kind of find one that suits you the best. Sometimes you need to switch out the picks based on what you're doing. For instance, sometimes if I'm just strumming like an acoustic guitar part they're recording, sometimes a thin pick is the way to go because it's very comfortable and it makes that the dynamics very smooth. It's almost like a compressor. Very consistent. So it's a little brighter too. The thinner picks tend to be a little bit brighter. Sometimes that brightness helps that guitar part cut through a mix. So let's see. So let me just kind of show you some that I have and some that I use. I do use these kind of pricey picks made by a company called Red Bear. They look like this. That's one. It's got holes in it. You can go to their website. I'll put the links in the description. Kind of thicker. I like the thicker ones he makes. This is the one I showed you before. This is the thickest one. And it looks like that. And they're made out of this sort of kind of, I guess I think he said an animal protein of some sort, some synthetic. And basically what it's designed to do, it's trying to emulate the sound of a tortoiseshell pick, which was used many, many years ago. And it was a preferred pick. The guitar players love the way they sound, and obviously they outlawed the killing of turtles for picks, so this is kind of a good substitute. They are pretty nicely balanced. I mean, they're very clear sounding, and they have enough meat and body to the note. But again, something like this may not work in every situation. So sometimes you want a softer sound. So I may use an example for something that has a softer sound is these JB picks. These are also a little pricey too, but they're all I think they're all handmade. And what makes them, I guess, different, these JB picks are just plastic, but since they're handmade, they're hand beveled, so the bevel on them is a little bit smoother. So let me just kind of play you in a couple examples. I'll start off with the thinnest pick, that Fender Medium one, and you'll kind of hear. Here is one of the Red Bears. This is this Red Bear one. the JB pick. Here is, let's see, here, this is one I like to use a lot too, which is a Pick Boy. It's a 150. Here is, let's see, this is, what can I'll do the wood pick. This is kind of a thick wood pick here. I actually kind of like this one. Right. This is a very typical Dunlop one. This is the purple one, 2.0. I know I'm in black and white, no purple coming through. It sounds like this. This one's good. I think this is one John Scofield uses, if I remember correctly. Nice sound. So, let's see, any ones else? Some of them are better grip on them. Oh, here's another one. This is a V-pick. I've been using these a lot lately, and I've been turning my students onto these, and they seem to like them because these V-picks are made out of acrylic. They have all different shapes and sizes and thickness. You can go to their website, V-picks, and they are a great sound, actually a good sound for a plastic-based pick. So I do like these V-picks. They have a nice sound to them. This one has got, since it's got 3 sides, you can use any one of them. As one wears out, you can just switch over and use the other one. These are a little pricey too, meaning I think they right around the $4 or $5 range, I guess. I haven't checked the prices lately, but these, I can't remember if I mentioned, but these Red Bear picks are expensive. They're like 20, 25 bucks a pick. The problem is, like, I'm not really crazy about the guy who runs it, only because you never know what he has available. I guess once a week or once a day or something like that, he throws up what he has available. You can't special order him, at least as the last time I checked. One time it took me almost 6 months, this pick here, took me 6 months to get from him, and I don't know if it's really worth it. So they do sound good, but there are definitely some competitive picks out there that I think are really close. It's apples and oranges at a certain point, what you prefer better. Just because a pick costs $20, $25 doesn't mean it's necessarily the best pick for you. For some people it is. So there's another company that makes kind of pricey picks, which is called Blue Chip Picks. They're even more expensive. They're, I think, in the $50+ range, and they supposedly last a long time. I do have one, and it was good. It was a little thin for me, but yeah, if you get into really experimenting and don't mind shelling out that kind of money, by all means, go for it. Anything else to see? These are red. These are the Dunlop Jazz picks. These are really popular. They have a good sound. They're small, and they can be comfortable in the fingers a little bit. Let's see, anything else? I got quite a few, but mostly standard stuff. Yeah, like I said, I would get a bunch and try out. Now, one thing I want to also point out with these picks, and this also depends on the type of pick you're using, which is the way you can change the tone by the angle of the pick. And so I'm going to it's more noticeable on a thin pick, so let me kind of show you how that tone can change. So I'm on this first string here, and I'm just going to play. So if this is the string here, my finger's a string, I'm going to play like really flat versus angling downward against it like that. I don't know if this is a better view here. So I'm playing kind of flat. I'm going to first play flat, and then I'm going to push my thumb joint down and have the pick on edge. I don't know, like that. It's going to be slightly down, pushing down on the string. I think you'll see it over here, hopefully. So here is it flat. Here it is with a flat. I'll get a little closer. It kind of fattens up the sound, almost like it doles it down a little bit and gives a little bit more bass response out of it, changing the angle versus. Now, a lot of picks don't do that. These V picks, they're not as sensitive to that. You can still hear a change, but it's not as drastic as these Fender medium picks. The one thing you have to be careful is on these thinner picks is if you play on these top strings, you get a little bit of that scrapey kind of sound to it. So you have to kind of adjust that angle to make sure that it's the right balance for you. These thicker picks with a point don't produce that effect as much. Here's the medium again. Kind of hear that. Not as bad on that. This is the Pick Boy 150 right here. Here's the Fender medium as a comparison. But sometimes that's a cool effect. Sometimes you want that sound in there. So, anything else? I think that's it. If you guys need more help with all this stuff, especially with guitar training and all that, go to my website. I do Skype lessons. And if you're here in sunny California, San Jose area, you can come into my studio here. We can do some private one-on-one lessons. Go to my website. All that information's in the description below, somewhere down there. Okay, I'll see you guys and gals in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.